This is a quick review on how to graph polynomials. We talked about all of this in class, so this video is just for people who want to review. So first thing we're going to talk about is the end behavior. For the end behavior, we need to know both the leading coefficient of the polynomial and the degree. And then the combination of that leading coefficient and the degree is going to tell us what the end behavior is. So if the leading coefficient is positive and the degree is odd, it's going to look like this. If it's negative and the degree is odd, it's going to look like this. Even and positive, like that, and even and negative, it's going to look like that. So this is a really helpful chart just to always reference when you're trying to decide what direction your end behavior is going in. Okay, the second new concept that we talked about was the multiplicity. So the multiplicity is how many times each root appears. So every single root of your polynomial equation will have its own multiplicity. If the root only appears once, or the multiplicity is 1, we're just going straight through the x-axis at that root. If the multiplicity is even, bouncing at the x-axis at that root. If the multiplicity is odd and greater than 1, it's going to kind of flatten like this. So I'm giving you two options because sometimes it's going to be at the, it could go two different ways each time. Okay, let's just talk about an example to make all of that a little more concrete. So when I see an equation like this, the first thing I'm going to do is to write out my roots and my multiplicity of each root. So each root has a different multiplicity. So my root here, I have 4, I have 1/2, and I have -2. How did I get that? I set x minus 4 equal to 0, I set 1 minus 2x equal to 0, and I set x plus 2 equal to 0. So I set each of these factors equal to 0. Okay, now I need to find the multiplicity. 4 is going to have a multiplicity of 1, 1/2 is going to have a multiplicity of 1, and -2 is going to have a multiplicity of 2. Why is this the case? Well, if you look here, our x minus 4 factor, which is where we got the 4 root, this has an exponent of 1. Our 1 minus 2x factor, which is where we got the 1/2 root, also has an exponent of 1. But our -2 factor, the x plus 2 factor, which is where we got the root -2, has an exponent of 2. So you're going to look at those exponents, see how many times each root appears, and that's going to be your multiplicity. Okay, then I need to find what my leading coefficient is and what my degree is. So to do that, I'm going to take all of those x terms. I'm going to do x times -2x times x times x. I have to do this twice because it's squared. So then I'm going to get -2x to the 4th. My leading coefficient is -2. My degree is 4. So therefore I have a negative leading coefficient and a even degree. Let's see what my arrows are going to look like. I have a negative leading coefficient and an even degree, so I'm here. My arrows should be going down. And where are my roots? They're at 4. Make sure you label these. 1/2 and -2. Okay, then I'm just going to start drawing. So I'm going to start at one of the arrows, I'm going to get up to -2, and then I'm going to look at the multiplicity and decide whether I'm going through, or I'm bouncing, or I'm flattening. So since my multiplicity at -2 is 2, I'm going to bounce. So I'm going to go back down. Then we have to go up again to our next. Here my multiplicity is 1, so what's going to happen? I'm going to go just straight on through. And again at 4 my multiplicity is 1, so I'm just going straight on through. And then you are done. You have graphed your polynomial. Make sure to label your x-axis on these.